Update, I have the body. Yes, I made the trip all the way up to Sunderland and back. 700-mile round trip in one day. Wasn't enjoyable. Bit frustrating getting all the body work and all suspension, but anyway, I am actually missing a few pieces. It wasn't all ready. So anyway, that's another story. So here is a door aperture. This door aperture gives me the total profile of the cage. So I can, check on I can clarify all my dimensions, and this tells me where the roll cage goes. So it follows this line up through here, bends in, and then that's the main hoop that will go across to the other side, and then the connecting ones, the A pillar, runs across there and down. So I've got 50mm exhaust tubing coming with pre-bends that I can cut and tack weld and get the profile perfect. That will be my pattern for the roll cage. I'll have the roll cage main section bent by either custom cages or cage laser, but I'll give them the patterns. I only need to do one door aperture because the other side's just a mirror image. So that will clarify the cage. So that's something I can do as soon as possible. I got a load of suspension parts. Don't have everything. Have the upper control arm, upper A arm, rear upper arm, and then over here I have a beautiful front lower control arm. But unfortunately, there's no circlip grooves in here, and the bore on this one is not, it's too small, so that needs opening up. I don't know what bearings this car used, but they're not off the shelf. At least that pivot one isn't. So that one's going to be bored out 0.5 millimeter and have the snap ring grooves in it. This one I can find the ball joint, find the spherical rose bearing, but again, no circlip groove. Front hubs, perfect. Don't have the rears, not yet anyway. The Citroen bearings, the rear is a much bigger diameter. You can actually see the difference there. That's 40 mil. I think that might be 60, I'm not sure. That takes threaded bolts, which have got titaniums there. And then this one here takes M7s, and I'm using we'll use an Allen from inside the back with a nut on there. That clears fine, that. Got my studs mounted. Again, titanium nuts for the steering arms. Of course, I'm missing something else. There's bushings to go in here. These are parallel holes, and I need inserts in there that match the taper of the ball joint. So I'll wait for the ball joints to arrive, and then I'll get those bushings machined up myself. I'm not going to wait on it. Got another discrepancy here. The bore on there doesn't match any bearing that you can get. So that's going to be going to my lathe guide, be turned out so that I can press in a proper off-the-shelf spherical bearing. Got these bump rubbers. They come off a Fiat van of some kind. I just need to cut the back edge down, and then they can go in there as bump rubbers. I got a set of springs, but I'm not going to use the fronts. These are the fronts. The big ones in the back, in the box under there, are the rears. They're perfect. So that's another story. But while I was there, I bought these quantum shocks. That's a front. And then there's 4 of these, obviously, for the rear. And Quantum had a set of shocks that off the S4, and they've, basically re-engineered them. And so I've got the valving close to, what the car would have had set up for the springs. So it gives me a starting point, and we're not just guessing on anything. Unfortunately, they used the really big springs that more like the Stradale car had, and I'm going to, on that front, I'm going to go down to 2¼ ID springs, which means the collars that came with this car, the platform collar there and the top, need reworking, or I have to get replacements so I can put the smaller spring on. So, oh, the fronts are all deburred. There was a lot of sand in here from the casting. That's all cleaned up. So I'm working through what I can. As you know, this thing's still tying up my shop space, but we're going to work at it and hopefully get this car gone, because I've got to pay for the gearbox. Spoken to TTV about clutch setup with a flywheel, so we have you know, direction now on that. And for the time being, that's all I can say. So I've got to pay a visit to a CNC machine shop to sort out the discrepancies on that lower control arm and the other things. It's the joys of building a car. See you later.